We'll talk about the UI components provided by the Android, and more important, we will discuss about the activity, right? So more important, we are going to talk about the activity. We'll see what the activities are and what I have said you in the previous class that every UI we design is an activity, right? We are going to design a UI on the top of activity, right? So we'll see what it means. So I think everybody has installed their in Android Studios. So from today onward, we will start coding, right? Okay. So I'm going to create a new project. So let's create a new project. Then we will discuss about the designing part and what the activities are. Okay, so I'm going to give a name. The application name is Hello Activity, and this is the package name, acadglade.com, and you can change it. I'm going to develop this on a 4.4 KitKat. We can also change it from here, or we can also change it after creating the application as well. So let's create it. So I'm going to start with the empty activity, or had no activity. I can start with the both. Okay, let's do with the empty activity. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, you are audible. Okay. So whenever you are going to create an activity, this is the first name, like this is the first name main activity, and it is the name default name. You can change it. You can change the name. So we can give it as a I'm giving it a name, hello activity, and this is the layout resource which will be uh, create for this activity. I will tell you what the layout resource is and what the activity is. Let's finish it. Okay, so let's close this old application. So you can run the multiple instance of Android Studio. So I've closed the previous one. Okay. For meanwhile it's creating, let's discuss about the activity. Then we will discuss about the layouts, right? So basically in Android, activity is a component in the Android. You can say that it is a one among the pillar, right? They are the four pillars in the Android, and we set them as a Android components, right? So we have 400 Android components. First is the activity, services, broadcast receiver, and content providers, right? So activity is one of them. And activity is only the component which is responsible for showing a UI, right? So activity is responsible for user interface, right? Or UI, right? Whenever I say interface, it means this activity is responsible for showing you a screen, right? So this activity is going to show you a screen, and you use the different applications and Android mobile. So the screen which you are seeing, how you are able to touch, you are able to give your inputs right on this screen. So this is the activity who takes your input, right, and does the actions. So our application has been created. You can change the hierarchy from here. You can change this to the project. If you select it as a product, then you will see these files. If you change it to the app, then you will see like this. If you change it to packages, then you will see all packages in the application. So I will do it with the selecting the project, right? So okay, coming back to the topic, we have activity, and if you see the mobile, if you use the Android application, then you must have been seen, like when you open a page, right? Then you open another page, then you open another page, right? Right. So we open application, we tap on something, then a new page comes, and or you can say that a new screen come, and we tap on this screen, and then again a new screen comes. So on the top of one screen, we are going to open another screen. So, and you can see we have a back button in our mobiles, right? And when you press the back button, you can see this will go like this, right? So the previous screen which you have opened, you can see it. Then you again press the back button, and last screen is there, and you press back button, your application is closed, right? So you can think activity as a stacks, right? If you have seen the CD holder, right? The CD plates, nowadays we are not use the CD, right? But this is the CD plate, and if you remember, we can put the CD plate like this. The first one is here, second one is here, third one is here, right? So this is a CD plates, and this is a CD holder, right? And this CD holder is going to will keep plates in a stack, right? If you see, this CD holder is going to put this CD on a stack. This is called as a stack, right? In a stack, if we put if you give a number, then this is the first one, this is the second one, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and this is the eighth, right? So the first CD is going to it will come out at last, right? And the for last one, which is a 8, will come out first, right? So I'm repeating, this is a stack, right? And we have put the CD on a stack, and the first one, which is the first CD, will come out, right? Will come out at last position, or you can say that the first will get chance to come out at last, right? And the last one, which is the A, is going to uh, will come out at first, right? So you can give it a name as first in, right? First out. Sorry, last out. Or you can say it as a LIFO. Sorry, FIFO. Sorry, FI, right? First in, last out, right? So this is the concept of stack. Yes, LIFO, sorry. Last in, first out, right? So this is the concept of a stack, right? Here we put the elements in a stack, and actually this is a topic of a data structure, right? So in a similar way, our activity is going to act, right? So if I change the name as a name to CD, and I say, okay, this is an activity, right? If I say this is an activity, like CD holder now act as a stack of activity. The first activity is on a base, and the last activity is on a top, right? So it is a LIFO, last in, first out. So, or you can say it as a first in, last out. This is the first in and last out. So this is the concept, and activity is going to activity in a mobile. Our activity is going to place in a same concept, right? So let's give you an example. I have an application, and I have these buttons. I have these buttons, right? I have these buttons, right? And let us zoom on the tap of this. This is a one, this is a second, this is a third, and this is a fourth. On a tap of each button, I'm going to create a activity, right? On a tap of one, I'm going to open this activity. On a tap of two, I'm going to open this. Tap of three, I'm going to open this. On tap of four, I'm going to open this one. I have a back button here. Back button in my mobile. Whenever I press a back button, then the fourth activity, which is on the top of the stack, is going to remove first. Then again I press it back, then third wheel goes off, then second wheel goes off, and the last activity is open here, right? And when the last activity is going to be pop off, right? Then pop off means it is going to be out, out of the stack. Then the application is going to be closed, right? So this is a similar concept. Like this is a stack. This is a stack of the activity. So this is a term, activity stack, right? So we keep, or not we keep, the Android mobile keeps the activity of your applications in a stack, right? Because a application can contain more than one activity, right? Or you can say a application can contain more than one screen, right? There may be, if you are using a Facebook application there, then it may be, or any other application, then the application contain more than 10, 12, 20, right? These screens, and whenever you open a screen, then it is going to create a stack of the activity, right? So this is the stack of the activity. So if you think, we have one activity, two, and these all activity are going to open on the top of other activity, right? So activity has a life cycle. Every activity has its own life cycle, right? So whenever we move from one activity to another, let's say I'm going from this to this, I'm going back to this to this, I'm going back from this one to this, or you can say if I'm going from this activity to this activity, or I'm going from this activity to this. So every activity has its own life cycle, right? So we will see in the next example what is the activity life cycle and how activity life cycle, or you can say we will see how we are going to manage the life cycle of more than one activity, right? What they mean. So let's see the definition of the activity. So in Android, actually, activity is a class, right? So this is the definition. Every screen in an Android app is an activity. Activity will always have a user interface, right? And it is not possible to have an activity without a UI, user interface. Okay, let's come back to the example. So let's run this application and see what is going to open here. So any question, guys? So this is not the application. This was not our application. Our application is still building. Any question, anyone?
Yeah, I do have. Activity
Yeah.
works in LIFO format, right?
Sorry.
Like every activity works in a LIFO format, like last in first out. Every time when we open an particular app, it will
Mm-hmm.
pops an another window, like another screen, where it will be placed
Mm-hmm.
on the stacks, like a CD player,
Right.
right?
Right. So this is our okay. It's running. It will take some more minutes. Okay, let's see. It's
Sir, hello.
yeah.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
if we are opening any application and we have just opened
Mm.
3 4 pages, like if we are talking about stack, so 3 4 pages are open, so it will be all in stack. But when we press home button, so these all stacks will be removed at a time.
No, no. Uh, every application has its own stack, right? So if you have 10 application installed in your mobile, they all application are going maintain their own separate stacks. So this is not going to be closed. When you come back and open the application, then you will find the similar the stacks will be maintained by the application. You will find the last page.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Yeah. So this is the activity, right? And this is the user interface. So by default, nothing is written here. Okay, okay, we'll discuss about it. No problem. So, so this is the user interface, right? Let's see. Let's start from the first. This is our class, which is a name hello activity, and this class is going to extend app compact activity, right? So app compact activity is actually a activity. It is an extended one, right? So if you see this class, they have extended a fragment activity. So this is the base class, and which is going to extend the activity. So actually app compact activity is an extended form of the activity. Whenever I say extended form, means we have a hierarchy of the classes, right? So if you have heard about the interfaces, sorry, inheritance, then our class is going to extend this class, and this class has a hierarchy of other classes, and at last this the class is going to extend the activity. Now if you want to create your own activity, I'm going to create my own activity here. Inheritance. Okay, anyone want to tell about the inheritance? Okay, I will talk. Yeah, the reuse of the class, right? So actually, what the inheritance means, we have a class A, right? And let us assume I have written something here. I have write function to method to add two numbers. I have write a method to add two numbers in my class A. Now I'm going to create a class B, right? This is my class B, and here I'm going to let us assume method for multiplication, right? And here I need method for addition as well, right? But let's assume I have written 1,000 of lines to add two numbers. This is a scenario. It may be any other function. We have let's assume we have done a more complex coding here in A, and I want, okay, I don't want to write the code, right, of to add the two numbers, right? So the addition of two number, a code which which I have already written in A, I don't want to write in a B, right? So we can use the feature inheritance, right? Whenever we do inheritance, I will say, okay, B is going to inherit the class A with the keyword extend, right? And in a relationship, A is now parent and B is now child, right? Exactly. So now A is parent, B is child, and we are going to use the keyword extend. Now, when I will create a object of B, right? Whenever I'm going to create an object of B, like new B, I'm going to create a, or you can say, it will create a object which contains the copy of parent, which is A, and child, which is a B. So this will create a copy of parent and child, right? So from class B, you can uh, from class B, you can access the method of A, because the object which is created from the B will contain the copy of class A and the copy of class B as well, right? And in a scenario, if A has extend some other class, let's assume O class. If A has extend O class, right, and B is going to extend A, then B will contain a copy of A and O class, right? So this is a hierarchy, right? Inheritance hierarchy, the relationship of parent and child. So clear? Okay. So in a similar way, the app compact activity is actually going to use it's actually contains activity inside. You can see this app compact activity. We have extended the app compact activity, and it is extended the fragment activity. These are the classes, right? Then this will extend to this. So last is the activity class, right? And activity class, if you go to inside the activity class, then it also going to extend the context theme wrapper. So it's a big hierarchy. We are not going to discuss all about them. So altogether, our class is a activity class, right? Because the class which we are going to extend, right? If I am extended this class, app compact activity, right? And app compact activity has its parent, right? And its parent is activity, right? So in the hierarchy, you can say that our hello activity is a activity class, right? So this activity class has a method on create. This activity class has many methods. Like this is the one of the life cycle method. I will go through the all. We will go through all the life cycle methods. So let's come here. Okay, let's see. This is the method which is going to be called first in a life cycle. I will show you the life cycle. I just want to explain you, or I want to I want you just go through the code, right? So it will be more you will be more comfortable while when I will teach you the life cycle. So this is the first method which is going to be called when activity is going to be instantiate, right? Or you can say This is the method which will call first, or even you can say this is the method which is responsible for showing you a UI, because in this method we are going to call a method which is the name set content view. See the name set content view. This is the content view. The screen is a content view. And this method is going to be say, okay, you have to load a resource file name as layout activity hello. See the design. Something else. No, I don't get you. I'm not getting you. Like, what the other example you want to see? You know, you want to change the name of this hello activity. Okay. Okay. So you want to change this text, right? Yeah, we'll come to this point. Don't worry. Right? Yes, you can change the text. Go here and right. You can write anything you want here. Okay. So we'll come to this part. This is the designing part. So the next topic is the designing part. We will discuss after discussing about the activity lifecycle. So okay. So this is the activity lifecycle which I'm going to discuss, and this is the screen, right? This is the XML layout. If you go to the SRC main resource folder, you have a folder name as a layout file. Inside this layout folder, we are going to keep XML files, right? And these XML files are responsible for showing a user interface. And if you want to create a new XML, you just have to go here, create a new resource file, right? You can give any name. I calculate. This will create a new XML from here, right? You can see this is XML. This is a blank XML. This only contain a layout, linear layout, so it is not going to show you any other thing. So let's come back to this one. So this is our XML, which we are going to show it from set content view, right? So we'll discuss about the XML. Let's come back to the activity lifecycle. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's not visible from. Okay, I'm going to draw a life cycle of activity. When I say the life cycle of activity, it means the methods which will be called after one, right? So the first method which will be called on activity life cycle is on create. Activity life cycle. So this is our activity life cycle, and the first method is on create, right? After on create, and this on create is responsible for creating a UI, right? The set content view method will be called from on create. After on create, the method will be called named as on start, then on resume. These three methods, on create, on start, and on resume, are responsible for putting activity right. So these three methods will be called on create, on start, and on resume. Then our activity is going to be shown top of mobile, right? These methods will be called, then your activity will be shown. The activity is visible, right? Or you can say set of these methods are responsible to visible activity, right? So let's come back to the example. Let's call the three methods. I have on create. I'm going to call it on start. Okay, so I have override the method. And one more important thing, we don't need to call this method in the life cycle, right? This method will be called automatically, right? We have only handler to these methods, like what the handler means. These methods will be called automatically, and if you want to put our code in the life cycle methods, then we can write our own methods, our own codes in the method. Okay, so I have called on create, on start, and on resume. Now I have called all these three methods which are responsible for showing a UI. Okay, now I want to show a message, and we will run the code, and then we will see the hierarchy, or you can see we can see the methods which is going to be called first. So this is a class known as a toast, which is responsible for showing a floating text or floating message. Floating message or floating text, it means a message will come and it will goes automatically. You can't like handle the click. It means you can't tap on the message, or if you have seen the dialogue. The dialogue means, I will just give you an example. If you are going to delete an image, right, then it will ask you, okay, you want to delete the image, and you press OK, right, then it will delete the image. But this, when you are deleting an image, then it was a dialogue. But here, I'm going to show you a toast, right? So I will show you the toast, how it looks. So first I'm going to give a right. You just need to call these methods. So I'm going to give the message. So let's, so I want to say, okay, this is a on create. And the second parameter is, the first parameter is this dot length. You can say, okay, that you want to show the message for the 3 second, 4 second, right? So these are the length, long and length short. So I'm using the length. Okay, use the length long dot show. Simple. I will toast a message. The first parameter is this. This means I'm going to use a current context of the class. Current context of the class means I'm going to use this. This always tells the current object of the class, right? So when I'm going to say this, it means I'm going to take a reference of hello activity, because my hello activity is my current class. This is the message, and this is the length. Like you want to show the message for a long time or for the short time. Yeah, this is a class. Yeah, this is a class, but this reference to the current class. Right here in this scenario, when I write this, hello activity is my current class. So this is going to reference the hello activity. Right? Yeah. Let's copy this message. Put it on start. Put there on resume. Now let's run the application. Now the application will run. You'll see the message on create, on start, on resume. Right? See, the toast message will come on create, on start, on resume. Got it? So now we have some more methods. Now these three methods are responsible for showing a activity. Now let's come to the methods which will be called when we are going to close an activity. The first method is on pause. Then we have on stop. Then we have on destroy. On pause, on stop, on destroy, right? These three methods are responsible for closing the application. Or you can say removing the activity from stack or closing a activity. Okay, so Rakesh. So Rakesh, your question is you want to, okay. Yes, you can see the parameters, like which parameter you need. Just tap on the control, press on the make context, right? See the required type. First one is a context, right? Second is a care sequence text, and last is the duration. Even you can tap on the make press control and tap here. You'll see the parameters, what parameters it need. And Prats, you have the question. Yeah, Prats. So basically, these are event handlers method. Yes, they are the event handler method, or you can say these are the method of the life cycle, right? Or you can assume as a yes, you can say it as a event, because life cycle whenever in the life cycle of activity, these are the events, right? The on create, you can say it as a event on start. So yes, this is true. These are the event handler methods of the life cycle, right? So I have three methods: on pause, on stop, on destroy. These three methods are responsible for closing a activity. Now let's come back to the activity and override these methods. On pause, okay, on stop, on destroy. Similarly, I'm going to put a messages here, toast messages. Change the name. This is for on pause, this is for on stop, this is for on destroy. Got it? Let's run it. So Rakesh, your question is context name of the event handler method should be same as the actual method name always. I'm not getting your question. I think you are asking that the context. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Actually, no, the contest name has been mentioned after this, right? There is another parameter on pause. If we see on pause, the method on pause is same as that of context name, which is mentioned in make text method. So is
this
it
one.
always should be the same? Yeah,
This
both are
one.
same. Yeah.
No, no. This is the text. You can write anything here. Write anything.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, this is just a text. Just I want to show you that okay, this toast is be shown on this method inside this method on post, right?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can change it. This is a toast message. You can call it anywhere.
Okay.
And Prats, you have a question like we do. Yes, you don't need to write the code. Just type the method. Press Control Tab, right? Press Control and Tab and write the first letter, or even you don't want to write the first letter. Press the Control Tab. You will get a list of methods here. Call them. Okay, so let's see the application. On pause, on stop. Uh, where is the example? So this one is the example. On start, on resume. I will show you why it is called on start, on resume. Let's close it. Okay, let's come from the start. This is my hello activity. On create, on start, on resume. Now three methods has been called, right? These three methods, on create, on start, on resume. After this, my activity is now in a visible state. Now I'm pressing back. This state, my activity is going out of stack, right? So these three methods, on pause, on stop, and on destroy will be called. On pause, on stop, then on destroy, right? Any question, guys? Then we will talk the other scenarios. Now these methods are not compulsory. Only on create method is a compulsory. You have to call on create, right? Because because it is written these. Let's see. This method is a compulsory method. You have to override it because this will call this method set content view, and if you don't call this method set content view, this view is not going to show, right? So this is the compulsory method. All other methods are not compulsory. If you want to handle the life cycle events, then you can call them and write your own code, right? Okay, so I have one more method. I have one more method name as on resume. Sorry, on restart, right? I'll show you the life cycle. Let's write this method. Now let's come to the other scenario. Now I have created the activity and we have seen, okay, these three methods are responsible for creating and these three methods are responsible for showing activity, right? Now let's see a scenario. If I open an application and I press home button, right? I'm going to open application, I'm going to press a home button. Then in this case, on create, on start, on resume will be called, and whenever I press a on home button, I'm not going to press a back button, right? Because what I've said, on pressing back button, we are going to clear the stack, activity stack, right? And until the application, until the activity is in his stack, right? It is not going to, like if I give an example, this is my two activities. I press back, the first one get pops up, the second one is here, right? And you press back button again, then this is going to be out of stack. Then it is going to be destroy. But if I create this activity and I press home button, or you can say if I create this activity and I call another activity from it, now we have two activities and I press home button, then these both are not going to be clear from the stack. When you open the application again, then you will see this activity, the last one, right? So what I want to tell you is when I press a home button, on pause and on stop method will be called, right? An activity will go in a background state. So this is a term, background state. So here activity is not destroyed, right? It is not destroyed. It is on a pause state, right? So these two methods, on pause and on stop, will be called. Then activity is going to be going in a background state, right? So now this is my application. I press a home button. Then see the series of method which is called. On pause is not shown here. I'm going to press the home button here, on pause and on stop, right? If a activity is going in a background state, then on pause and on stop will be called. Now let's come back. See, activity is not destroyed. Activity is in a background state, right? Now when I call this hello activity again, then a method will be called, and it is a name, on restart, right? Activity is not destroyed, so it is not going to, so activity is not destroyed, so it is not going to call on create, because on destroy means activity is not in the memory, right? So activity is in a memory, so I'm going to call, or the Android is going to call on restart, and on restart will call on start, and on start will be called on resume. So this is a scenario, and this is a scenario for resuming activity. Got it? This two method is called when activity will go in a background state. Right? So okay, I'm starting from the first. When activity start, it will call on create, on start, on resume methods. When activity is going out of a stack, it means it is going out of it is going to delete from the memory, right? It is going to release the memory. It will call on pause, on stop, and on destroy. This method on destroy is responsible for, this is the last method, and it is responsible for releasing the memory of the activity, right? Because activity is showing on the mobile, then it has occupied some memory, right? So after calling this method, it means now activity is no more, right? Activity is dead. But if I have called on pause and on stop, in a case like if I press a home button, right? So this is the background state, and this background state is in like example tapping है, right? If I tap a home button, on, pause, on, stop will be called. Now, if I come back, right, because activity was not destroyed, so it is not going to call on create. It is going to call on restart because activity is restarting, and it will call on start and on resume method. See, I will show you the example. On restart, on start, then on resume, right? So this is the life cycle of activity. So this is the life cycle of single activity, right? I'm pressing back, on pause, on stop, on destroy, right? Now activity is destroyed. Now if you come back, then it will again start from on create. Got my point? Any question? Okay. Okay, Anirudh, can you tell me the life cycle, the methods responsible for creating activity? Are you there, Anirudh? Okay, so Akshay, can you tell me what the name of the method responsible for creating an activity?
On create.
Yeah, on create. Okay, and the series of method will be called when the activity will come on the foreground.
On start, after on create, on start, and on resume.
Oh, okay, good. So, Marshall, you tell me the name of the method which is responsible for destroying an activity. Marshall, you're not audible. Okay. So, Megha, can you tell me the name of the method responsible for destroying an activity? Okay, Robin, can you tell me the name of the method responsible for closing the activity?
On pause, on stop, and on destroy.
Okay. And the name of the method responsible for restarting the activity?
On restart. And then that will call on start and on resume afterward.
Okay, great. So this is the series of the methods which will be called on a life cycle of one activity, right? Now let's come back to the example. We have created one activity. Now I want to create one more activity, and we will see the design part, right? How to design the view. And we will create one more activity. So in the previous example, we have a text view. So I will let's discuss about the XML, what the XML is and what this means, right? Yes, the design happen in XML, or even if you want to don't want to use the XML, then you can do the whole designing part in a code, right? So we can write the whole thing in a code as well, but this they have provided the XML as well. So we have an XML. So actually XML is a format, right? And it is a name as an extensible markup language. So in XML, we will write the things in a tags. This is a starting tag. This is a closing tag, right? And if we are going to start a attribute, then we are going to close it here, right? We are going to close it using this slash, right? And this enclosing tags, right? And inside any tags, we can put another tags, right? So here I have a tag name as a relative layout, and inside the relative layout I have put a text view, right? Okay, so this is the text view, and let's show you the preview. Now these are the layouts, relative layout, and we have other layout as well, known as a linear layout, frame layout, table layout, right? So let's discuss what the layouts are. So actually layouts uh, are the classes, right, which are used to, or which are capable of containing other views, right? If I say this is a layout, then it is an area inside which I can draw, right? Inside which I can draw the other components, right? Or even inside a layout, I can create two other layouts, right? And inside other two layouts, I can put other views, right? This is my layout. You can put a component here. If these are my component, and let's say I want a layout which is going to keep the content like this, right? So these are the, so this is a layout inside which we can contain, or we can put other views, right? Other views or other layout. So I will show you here. In my XML, I have a layout name as a relative layout, right? And I have a view. See, this is a layout, right? So inside a layout, you can put views like a text view, or if you want to put a button, right? Or you make it a wrap contain. you want to put a button, then you can put a, so, or even you can use it like if you want to pull it down, right? You can also use a drag drop, right? But I will not recommend you to use a drag drop because this will not work on the screen multiple sizes, right? So write a code for it. So see, this is my layout. Okay, you can put a text to the button. Okay. Okay, let's see. I want to say I want to put this layout inside another layout. I'm creating another layout, name as a relative linear layout, wrap content, and inside this layout, I want to put these buttons. So let's copy it and let's say this is a, let's orientation is what is this? Okay, I want this two views inside another layout, right? So I've created another layout and I have said this layout is a vertical. So these two things are in a vertical position. If I say this is a horizontal, then you will see it in a horizontal position, right? You will see these are not on a same line. So you can put a gravity. It is a component known as a gravity. See, center horizontal, center bottom, center vertical. I want to show it as a center vertical, right? So it is showing you as a center vertical, but it's not looking good here. Remove this. Right now this is in a center vertical. Okay, I will, if I change the width, so width and height, you can see the tags width, height, right? Have written a wrap content. So whenever we say wrap content, it means I want to say my view is going to wrap its content, right? See, I have asked my layout to wrap its contents, and its contents are this text view and it button. So if you see this height, my linear layout, my layout will only going to occupy this space. If I say, okay, your width, make it match parent. See, this will change its length. Match parent means, see, whenever I'm going to put a layout inside another layout, right, or view inside a layout, then the tag which is containing his child, right, is the parent of his child. In our case, this text view, this button, for this text view and this button, their parent is this linear layout, right? So their parent is this linear layout, and the parent of this linear layout is this relative layout. I make it match parent, and match parent means I'm saying, okay, go and match your parent. So you see the parent is, and let's come back to the activity. So in a button, I have written a match parent. So button want to match his parent, but on the left top side, we have a text. So it is trying to, so it is it is trying to wrapping the text, right? But the text is on the left side, so it is not allowing it, right? So let's change the text button color. Let's change the width, make it wrap content. Allow me a moment. Okay, I think some virus has been installed here. Okay, so I have said my button, okay, you have a wrap content. So see, now this is a wrap content. If I change it to match parent, this is a match parent, right? Yeah, gravity is for alignment. Whenever we say gravity, it means uh, this is my view. I said, okay, your gravity is center. It means whenever we place any views, any component inside this layout, this is going to draw on a center, right? If I say this is a center vertical, then it means I have 4 views, then it will show you like this. It means on a center vertical. If I say center horizontal, then it means, and this is center horizontal. Sorry, I have just tell you opposite. If I say the center horizontal, then this will show like this, right? And if I say center vertical, then it will show in a center vertical position, right? So it's a simple center in a vertical manner, or center in a horizontal manner, or simple center, right? So you can change the background color as well. So there are a lot of things in the design. So we have just started here. So we'll talk the designing part. So Let's change the background color. So if you want to change the background color, let's say Android color, let's make it gray. See, background color is changed. Want to make yellow? Right? So you can make you can change the background color from here. So okay, so make a, yes, we have a drag and drop like Eclipse. You can go here in the design. These are the widgets. On the left panel, you have widgets like plain text view, large, medium, button, right, radio, checkbox. So you just have to go here, and if I want to put a button, drag and drop it here, right? Varun, you have a question. Relative layout is already matching parent. Yes, your relative layout is going to match its parent, and the parent of this relative layout is your mobile, right? The root one, the parent of the root one is a mobile, right? If you make it, let's make the height wrap content. So it is going to wrap the whole content, right? This is the view. This is the relative layout. Actually, the background is white here, so it's not showing as a black. But if you select it, right? If you select this whole view, you can see this is selected. If I select this, see my cursor is in a text view. If I select this button, it is here. If I select this, so you can see the view. It is wrapped, right? Yes, it expand or contracts with the screen size. The parent one will expand and contract with the screen size. Like if you are using a tablet, then it's going to be expand, right? So this is the layout. If you want to make this uh, vertical, make it vertical, right? See here it is, they both are touching each other, right? So if I want to give it space between them, then we have a margin, right? Margin, see margin left, top, bottom, in, right, start, right? I want to use margin top, and let's say I want to use 10 dp. dp is a unit here. So now we have a margin here. This is dp actually is a unit for measuring the pixels, density independent pixels in the mobile, right? If you want to change the color of this button, just you can make it white. Yeah, you can change the background color of the relative layout. Just go there, background color. See, if you want to make it black, see this is a black, right? So we have seen here. I'm uh, I'm revising the layouts. That we have seen the relative layout. What is the relative layout? We have seen what we will discuss. I will show you what the relative layout. We will see. We have seen what the layout is and how to use the tags, like how to put the views inside another views, right? See, I have created a linear layout, and inside my linear layout, I have created a text view, a button. Text view is a component which will show you a text only, right? So if you want to change the size of a text, so you can write size text size, then resume it is 18 sp. So for measuring the text, we have a unit known as sp, right? So if you want to measure the text, right, the size of the text, then you can use the unit known as a sp, right? And if you want to make it a, if you want to change the style, text style, if you want to make it a bold, make it bold. No, this is for only one, right? For which is okay. I have two questions. So Prats, okay, Prats, this is now this is applied to the only one in which we have declared, right? So this is only for this text view, not for other. If you create another text view, then you have to define this. Got it? SP, yeah, SP actually is a scale independent pixels, right? So scale independent pixel, like we have a pixels, and pixel actually is a 1 inch px. We have a SP, scale independent pixels. We have a DIP, which we write as a DP, and this is a density independent pixel, right? So SP is for the font sizes, and DIP, or which is a density independent pixel, is a DP. You can use it in a margin or in a padding. So these actually, see, in a mobile, on a screens, we have a we tell that okay, this is a X resolution, and this is a X resolution, right? And we see this, we have a screen densities, right? So if you want to say, like, if you want to put a space between the, like, I have put a space between this button and this text, right? So I have used a density independent pixel. So these are the unit which is independent of the pixel, right? Similarly, if you want to give the size of the text, then you have to use SP, scale independent pixel, right? So these are the measuring units we use while designing. Got it? Okay. So now let's come back to the relative layout and the linear layout. Let's see the remaining topics we have. We have discussed about the activity life cycle. I have more to tell you about the activity life cycle, but I will tell you in the next class, because I want you to first read this, right? Put your hands on it. Then then we will see the life cycle between two or more than two activities, right? So this is, I have shown you only for one. Then we will see how it will work on if I'm going to use the stacks of activity, right? Okay, we have linear layout and relative layout. I'll explain you what the relative layout and the linear layout is. Freeze actually is not a life cycle method, right? So you can say that freeze like freeze method. Let's show you in the hierarchy. See here, code. Right. So see, we don't have a method, the name on freeze, right? So what actually it is, activity is in a running state, then we say, okay, now activity is on freeze, right? So this is just for explanation. Okay, so let's discuss about the relative layout and linear layout. Okay, so first I'll explain you the linear layout. In a linear layout, we can the name the linear means we have things on a we have objects on a line, right? The line can be horizontally or vertically, right? So if we are going to use a linear layout, then we can put the components either vertically or either horizontally. Simple, either vertically or either horizontally. By default, it is a horizontal. If you want to make it vertical, then you have to put the orientation. See, I have used a linear layout here, right? I have said, okay, you have to be vertical. Your orientation is vertical. If I remove it, this will go by default as a horizontal, right? So let's make it wrap content. Let's add one more button, right? I'm giving a margin. If you put a margin top, left, right, then it will take a margin from a specific position. If you write margin, like only margin, then it is going to take a margin. It means space from the all positions, right? From the left, right, top, and bottom, right? So I have created a linear layout. I have not described the or not given the orientation here. So by default, it is taking the orientation horizontal. Now if I want a horizontal orientation, so let's give vertical. Now this is in a vertical position. Simple, either vertical, either horizontal. Now I have given the gravity as a center vertical, so it is showing me in a center vertical position. But this center vertical position will work for a horizontal, right? Because I want to. This is a center vertical, right? So in a vertically they are in center. If you remove them, so I've given the margin here, so it is showing on a right position. Now if I change the orientation, let's say I make the orientation vertical and I want to show it as a center horizontal. See, now they are in a center horizontal position. Got it? Yes, you can do the drag and drop, but see, in Android we have we have different sizes of mobiles, right? So if you drag drop, then you will so then you will not get hands on the designing the XML, right? So you should know how to design the XML in a better way so that your application is going to support the screen sizes of all the screen sizes, right? So I will recommend you to write the code on the XML, right? It's not good to drag and drop here because it is not much appropriate according to the screen sizes. So this is the linear layout, right? Now let's talk about any question on the linear layout?
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, ask.
Yeah. Hi, this is Pradeep.
Yeah, hi.
Yeah. So I just wanted to know that Acad Guild demo, that container is defined under linear layout, right?
Yeah, these all three views are defined under a linear layout.
Okay. So, but where this container is defined, that Acad Guild container?
This one?
Yeah. Where which contains hello and bye.
No, my container is containing these three: text view, written as
Okay.
academic and by. This is a linear.
Okay.
Yeah, this linear layout is containing all the three of views.
Okay.
See.
Okay. That's fine. I got that. But where this container, which contains this hello and bye, where is that defined? It is that linear layout.
Okay, this container, the white one.
No, the gray one, the yellow one.
This is a linear layout. This is the linear layout. Say I have set the if
Yeah.
you
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Fine.
got it. This is the
Yeah.
same layout. Yeah. Okay. So anyone, any question? Okay, so let's move to the linear relative layout, right? So this is our linear layout, which is which is either
बहुत
relative.
बीच हुआ
Yeah.
क्यों क्या हुआ मूड को तुम्हारे किसने गुस्ताखी कर दी तुम्हारे मूड के साथ खिलवाड़ करने की
Okay. So so okay, let's discuss about the relative layout. So this is my layout, right? And whenever I say relative layout, the name says relative, right? So we are using the relations. I have a view, right? And like this is the relative layout, and I'm going to use a relation. And the relation is like in a linear layout, there is the things are simple. Either in a linear or either horizontal or either vertical. But here we are going to use a relation in a relative layout, and we'll say, okay, I want to put a view on a top left of the screen, so it will show you in the top left, right? Let's see, let's say it has a name A. So now this view A is on the top left of the screen. Now I want to draw this A screen. I want to draw another screen on the right side of A. Then I can say, okay, B, just draw on the right side of A. If I want to draw a screen, I will say, okay, just go and draw on the center of the screen. It will on the center of the screen. If I again want to draw another screen, see, this is on the, if I want to draw another view, and let's say it is on the left side of C, then I can say, okay, this is on the left side of a C. So it means we are going to use the relation of one view, and we are going to place another view on a behalf of the position of first one, right? So let's come back to the screen. See, so make it simple. We don't want this padding. See, so I have a relative layout, and I have drawn my linear layout inside my relative layout, and I have a button inside my relative layout, right? So I have this button and I have this linear layout. Now let's say I want this linear layout to be drawn on the center of the screen. So you can write right here as a center in parent true. Then it will show you on the center of the screen, right? If I want to say my button, okay, go and draw on the top of the align parent top true. It will go on the parent top, because the parent of this button and this linear layout is my relative layout. I'm using the relations here, right? Now if I say, okay, align parent left true. See, now it is on the parent left, right? I want to give some margin. Let's say I want to some space from the outside, so I'm giving it 10 dp. See, it is going to take some margin. If we increase this 20 dp, right? So it is going to increase the spacing. Now this is how we are going to use the relative layout, and we are going to we are using the relation of the parent. Now if I want to use the relation of views, right? I want to draw a button, right? And let's say I want to draw it on the right side of this button, right? So I'm going to create a new button, make it wrap content. Okay, let me plug my charger. Okay, so it is a wrap content, and let's see, I want to put some text here. No, we have not used the, yeah, we have used the parameter of the relative layout inside my linear layout. This one, where it is, this one, right? Because this linear layout has a parent which is a relative layout. Then you can use this center in parent too. But if you are going to use the this attributes here in this text view, it is not going to work, right? Because center in parent true is will work for relative layout only. But this text view has a parent which is a linear layout, so this will not going to work here. Okay, so I want to create a button, and I want to create it on the right side of this button, right? So see, I have created a second button, and it is showing on a, by default, every view in a relative layout, by default every view will be shown on the top left, right? So by default it is showing on a top left, right? But I want to show it on the right side of this. So we have attributes id, right? See, we have an id attribute, and id will give a specific name, right, to every view, right? Because in a screen, see here in a screen, I have this button, this text view, I have two more buttons, right? So how will you identify that which one has clicked, right? So for identifying, we will give a name to every button, right? Every view, not only button, every view. So here we will name it as a ID, right? And this is a style how we write it. So I'm going to write ID for this button, ID, right? Plus @ ID, it means it is going to create a new ID. Plus means going to create a new ID. I'm going to create a new ID. Let's write a name of it, second button, right? Now I want to put it on the right side of new button. So we have a tag, right? Right is as a right layout, right? Right of ID button, right? Layout right of ID button. See here we have called this button with its name ID, but we have not used plus here, right? Because plus means we are going to create a new button, right? New ID, but we have already created here with plus. So here we are only going to call it, right? So if you want to call it, so in this case you don't need to use the plus, right? So here I'm calling the button, so I have used the ID only, right? See, now it's on the right side of the new button, but actually new button has a margin 20, right? So it is showing this is on the right side, but this button don't have a margin, so it is in the right side of it. But if you want to make it parallel to it, you should have to give a margin here. See, now it is on the right side of this. Similarly, if you want to put a button on left, so you have layout to end of, right of, start of, align top, margin, right? So I want to write end of, right? So end is here on the right side, so it is showing here. So it has many other component as well. Uh, Align parent top, align right, align top, below, right? So make it simple, align right off, right? So see what we have done. We have in a relative layout, we have used the relations, right? So we have used the relation of, so see, we can use the relation via two ways, right? The relation of the parent itself or the relation of the components inside a relative layout, right? So the first component was my linear layout. So I've used a relation according to the parent layout, and I have used okay center in parent true. And here in the case of button, I have used a relation of views, right? I have used a relation of this view and this view, right? So it is user relation button. So this is a relative layout, right? So any question guys in a relative layout and linear layout? Okay, who's going to answer? Rashmi, can you answer me what you mean by the relative layout?
This is a parent layout in which we use linear layout and views.
Okay, so here we are going to use relations, right? It not only be a parent layout, you can also create a relative layout inside a, if I want to create a relative layout inside this linear layout, I can create a relative layout, right? Okay. So Omkar, can you tell me what you mean by the relative layout?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
confusing for me at the moment. Once I go back and hear your video again in the morning.
Okay, no problem. Should be parent. No, it's not necessary to create a parent as a relative, right? See, in this XML, I have created a parent as a linear layout. You can create parent as a linear, relative, frame layout, right? Or table layout, anything. It's not mandatory. I've just given you an example. Yes, I'm going to put a relative layout. So I have put a relative layout inside a linear layout, right? So you can put any layout inside any other layout, right? So I have put a relative layout here, and let's put a views here. Okay, and let's put edit text. Match parent wrap content. Let's give ID to this. ID. Now I want to create a button. Wrap content. Right. I want to put this button on the right side of my edit text. So align layout align right off edit text. Okay, this is a match parent, so actually it is going to match the parent, make it wrap content, and put a hint here. Your right. So this is my text view, edit text, and this is my button, right? Okay, let's do one more thing. Let's define a gravity inside it, right? Or you can also put a gravity center vertical. You can put multiple gravity with this or key, right? I will use this or key to put a multiple gravities here. Let's run this example and let's see. So here in this example, what I have done, I have put a relative layout inside a linear layout, right? So this is what I want to explain you. This is not mandatory. Layouts are meant for the design, right? So you can create any layout according to the design, right? So it's not mandatory that you have to create a relative layout or linear layout, right? So it's according to your design, what you want to design. So Varun, you have a question. So since we kept key will the gravity change based on the orientation? So no, I'm not getting your question. Speak and tell me like what you want to ask. So this is our UI. Right? These are our buttons. Varun, you can speak, you can say I am not getting your question. What you want to ask? Okay, so the difference between the relative layout and the linear layout is in the relative layout we can use the positions, right? We can say like this, we can use these positions. In a relative layout we can say we can use the ID of one view and we can say okay, just go right side of this, at end of this, below of this, right? But in the case of linear layout we can only draw the things either horizontally or vertically. We can't use the relations. I can't say in a linear layout okay, just go and draw on the right side of this or the left side of this button. Got it?
In Gravity, we have used two, right? You have used our key. So what's the use of using two different gravities?
Okay, orientation like in a gravity. Okay, here what I have you can mute. Here I have used two orientations, two gravities, and I have asked, okay, you should have in a horizontal, center horizontal, right? So it is showing you in a center horizontal, and I have say, okay, center vertical. It means I have asked my view to place in a center vertical position, right? So center horizontal, center vertical means if this is my view, if I say center horizontal, this means uh, this is horizontal to this is center in this horizontal, right? So center in this horizontal, center horizontal in this view, it means this is the center horizontal, right? If I say center vertical, it means this is the vertical, and I want views to be placed in a single line, like in a single line in a vertical position, right? So I will show you here in my it's got hang. If this is a view, if we say center horizontal, that means center at horizontal. This is a horizontal, right? Center at horizontal, it means this is a center at horizontal. Center at vertical means this is a center at vertical. If you see it, this is a center at horizontal. And see this text and this text, they are aligned to each other in a vertically aligned to each other, right? So this is a center vertical. So I have used the both gravities in a single view. So you can use the more than one gravity in a single call. Got got it? Okay, so today we have discussed the views and now you can use or. So today we have discussed the activity and some designing part. We have seen how to create an activity. We have seen the life cycle of the activity. So see the assignments and try to complete all the assignments, right? And read the activity life cycle. And I will suggest you to play with the code, right? So more you code, more you get. So design the layouts and read about the activity, read about the relative layout, linear layout, right? So I'm going to close the session. Any question, guys? Any confusion? Okay. Anyone? Thank you. Good night. Okay, guys. Good night.